Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Thanks so much. Today we're jumping into r/NeckbeardStories. Wow! Actually, it comes from my personal subreddit, r/ReddX reads. It is from our good friend user Zucca101. We hadn't heard from him for just a little bit. He started up that Beard series and then shut it down immediately because apparently somebody that's still friends with Beard didn't want him to write the story, and he's respecting their wishes, and I guess I also have to respect their wishes at this point. Ain't no story there, at least for now. I'm sure Beard will mess it up at some point, get on the wrong side of somebody, and then we'll finally get the story, but we have to wait a little bit longer for that one, apparently. No hard feelings, it is what it is. We'll try something else and see how that goes. We are live streaming this on Twitch. Come on through, check us out if you'd like. We got some additional links in the description there. We'll get some additional plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this r/NeckbeardStories cringe. Beard. Zucca's 4-H Chronicles, Chapter 1, Mongoose versus Hercules. I guess Beard was the 4-H Chronicles, like Chapter 0 or something like that. That's how we'll label it. Absolutely fine. This is all normal. But I do want you to explain why Beard stopped, which you will in the post. So let me first tell y'all that I'm okay. Good. Still on the job hunt, and I'm temporarily with a group that hooks up clients with skilled workers, like electricians in my case, and I'm making do until I can link up with a job that's closer to home. You do what you gotta do, as we learned from our wagey video yesterday. Oh boy! As of this post, I've since graduated with flying colors, have letters of recommendation from each teacher, and while my budget is on a wing and a prayer, I'm at least on an upward momentum now. See, angle yourself towards success. Yes, it hurts for the moment, but you're getting at the thing that you really want to do, and that's what's most importantly. You can suffer for a little bit, you know? I'm pretty sure that's how progress happens. It doesn't happen unless it hurts. So, thanks for all the well wishes and good vibes, friends. Sure, why not? Did I help? Now on to why this is so late. I'm just gonna pull off the band-aid right away. The Beard series is on an indefinite hiatus. Yeah, I kind of sussed out that much when it took so long for a second part to pop up. Honestly, I was loath to get into 4-H Chronicles as well. I'm like, it's technically a new series. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't, but we got some space. It's fine. I'll cram it in here. It seems that in the time I've been away, one of my friends from Santa Maria has given Beard a second chance, and I only learned this while asking around for clarification. As such, as long as he sticks on the straight and narrow, I'm gonna respect that friend's wishes and post nothing further in regards to Bubba. Probably more than he deserves, honestly, and that's not just me saying that because I want the story. I mean, partially it is, but not mostly. I'm a sucker for redemption, so okay, that's where we are now. Well, I hope you enjoyed the first part, because that's all we're getting for a while, it seems. But Zucca, you elusive wordsmith! I can already hear you loudly shouting at your computer, fully aware that I can't hear you, but permitting catharsis by way of rhetorical exclamation. What, in fact, are you gonna write about, if not these major beards in your life? A good question, Dr. Man. Dr. Starraw Man. I see what you did there. I was at a loss until I remembered the 4-H Chronicles. Yeah, we did have an episode of this already. There was a little bit of Beard, and it actually performed pretty good. I think I did a nice job with the thumbnail, all things considered. Like, yeah, the story was good, but you really gotta get those thumbnails nice and tight, get the titles good and hook them in before they even click, you know? Some thumbnails I'm prouder of than others. I ran to my study and opened up the gigantic chest containing Zucca artifacts of yore. My rocket launching kit, complete with the Sky Flash rocket, my wood burning kit and bits of projects thereof, a toy that I think needs to make a comeback. Honestly, wood burning projects, super cool. A couple months ago, I had a wild hair that I should get into whittling, and never did. The Bible that a girlfriend who God took home a little bit early gave me, my AT-AT toy, ribbons from the fair, and aha, the journal. Oh, now everybody's writing from journals. We got Fire Drake on it. Whatever happened to Fire Drake stuff? We got too many series open. There's Fallout Beard still hanging out there. I need somebody to get one of these things wrapped, for God's sake. Poring over this ancient tome, I relived days long past and realized that a lot of these would make for fun stories to share and a nice change of pace for the ReddX community to catch their breath in between being slowly pulled out of a burning building by firefighter Mike, or sitting in the back of the truck as Mommy Honker Donker's soul slowly erodes under Nanny Baka's perpetual foulness. I will say, luckily, Firefighter Mike, that's wrapped. We don't have to worry about that no more. But as far as Chris Trucker goes, yeah, I don't know. We might be here a while, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I do hope that there will still be some cringe to be had in these 4-H Chronicles, however. I don't want to catch my breath too much, get comfortable, rest on my laurels, etc., etc. You gotta keep me on my toes. You gotta keep my spine nice and strong. This week's entry, yeah, week. I'll be able to belt out something at least once a week, I think. Oh, promises, promises. All I can say is, talk is cheap. You ain't gotta make promises like that, you know? When it comes, it comes. You can't force stuff like this. But anyways, this week's story regards a wether, or a neutered male sheep, named Hercules and his clash with my brother, Mongoose. Oh, I thought Hercules was a dude. I was gonna give him the Arnold voice. I guess I could still give a sheep the Arnold voice, right? Bah! I'm super woolly! You need to cut my hair! Or wool, or whatever. I'm not big on sheeps, as you can clearly tell. I shall fill a new niche, my friends, but don't worry because the cringe will still flow. But it will scratch an altogether different kind of itch. I don't know if I'm comfortable with different, but we're gonna try it out. We're gonna see how it goes. Warning, this way lies trampling and implied nudity. Oh yes. Keep the kitties away from this one, shall we? It's just implied. It's fine. Probably, whatever. Oh, and don't you worry. It wouldn't be a Zucca post if it didn't have a little bit of music. And since we're still on a Disney trend with these songs, I'm gonna carry that along. Warm up those pipes, ReddX, while Nanny Baka cleans his, pipes. Oh no. Keep him away from the sheep, for God's sake. The title of this post might have given you a hint. It is Zero to Hero from Hercules. God, that's not a Disney movie that I'm super familiar with, but we gonna try it out. Boom, boom, ba-da-da-da. Bless my eyes, Hercs, and for surprise, were the who a prize, his lucky chances for a prize. What a fleece, Hercs running from police. Point him at the gate and you'll never know peace. He was a small lamb, a wee lamb, wee lamb. Now he's a big ram, what a grand slam. He was a lamb without hope to grow. From wee lamb to big ram and he ain't slow. Wee lamb to big ram, it ain't for show. When he bleats, the ewes went sweet with bars and bars. When they kept his face from every vase, from every vase. From county fairs to showman shares, Herc's kid had cash to burn. Now rocking the big show We could tell you what's a worth a earn. Say amen. There he goes again. Woolly, undefeated, an impressive 9 of 10. Folks lined up just to watch him walk. And this perfect package came from a pretty good flock. Herky comes with woolly cheers. Friend of the crowds were loud with cheers. He showed the sheep judge who's the boss. From wee lamb to big ram with no hoof rot. Wee lamb to big ram, and who'd have thought? Who'd show Bo Peep, who's large and in charge? Hercules! Who's bleeding Christ, spelled crazy big barge? Hercules! Isn't he bold? No one bolder. Is he sweet? Sheep's full of flavor. Hercules! Hercules! Bless my soul, Herc is on a roll. Ear tatted, strong as a bull in the softest wool, not matted. He was a pipsqueak, a wee lamb, now he's a giant, he's a big ram. He leaps over heights at breakneck speed. From wee lamb to big ram. Herc is a big ram, now he's a big ram. Yes, indeed. Well, we're gonna have to cut that one up a little bit. I definitely don't know the song when it goes double time and all that stuff, but I think it worked out pretty well. Did you write the song before you named the lamb Hercules? That's the question that I really got. I guess there was enough of a change. It works out nicely, doesn't it? And yeah, it kind of makes me want to watch Hercules again. I was getting a bit too old for Disney movies by the time that came out, which probably ages me significantly, but okay. Thank you, Zucca. Anyways, we are now into our dramatis personae, the cast list, if you will. We've, of course, got Zucca, our OP, Master of Ceremonies, and helpless witness to the horrifying events that took place, some of which might have been previewed in that song. 13 years old at the time, and full of the gusto that only a young dummy can muster. Yeah, I remember. Mongoose is Zucca's younger brother and economist, is friendly, cordial, eager to debate but not to argue, and he hates communism with a burning passion. Yes, even this early. It's a cool kid, honestly. Between watching that vintage Scrooge McDuck special on how money works to commanding heights, economics always fascinated Mongoose. Hercules, played by Kevin Sorbo, the best named Suffolk Werther of all time. This was a beast among sheep, a monstrous behemoth of muscle with perhaps 2% body fat to his name. And all that after they took his nuts, bro? You said he was neutered, right? And he still managed to do that? God, imagine if you didn't neuter him. He'd be knocking over buildings and stuff. Karen is the entitled mom, destined to be flattened, humiliated, and ultimately eat as much crow as she did hoof sandwich. All right, you love to see a Karen get what for. Achilles is Hercules' owner and a friend of ours. His mother is a good friend of our mom's, and they often talk shop in regards to the projects that their sons, aka us, are doing. Well, I'm glad Achilles' mom isn't the Karen. This is good. The stage, the Santa Barbara County Fairgrounds, as seen in the film Cowboy Up. Seriously, we small town kids thought it was so cool seeing the place that we grew up in get featured in a movie. Oh yeah? San Diego High School football. It was old-fashioned, lots of wood, bathrooms that smelled like death sharded after too many meals at the homemade taco stand. There was dust everywhere, and yeah, I missed the hell out of it. Go on back. Just give it another visit and see how strong nostalgia is. You might be surprised just a little bit. Be like, oh, this is all it was? It seems so much more awesome when I was a kid. At least that's how everything I've ever revisited turns out. There's still a little bit of magic to it, but most of it's gone. I'm an adult now, I'm sorry. So the troupe is ready and the stage is set. The Path of Zucca, the 4-H Chronicles, Mongoose versus Hercules. Star Fox 64 stage start chime.
Good luck.
For a bit of background, 4-H is a youth club. with all kinds of educational opportunities to it, involving learning by doing. Yeah, them's the farm kids, and honestly, they are probably destined for a life that's far more interesting than anything else. The 4-H kids got made fun of a little bit in my high school, but looking back, hell yeah, they had some like really cool projects. The name refers to a pledge. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my hands to larger service, my heart to greater loyalty, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. Wow, I didn't know anything about that. That's interesting and also sort of unnecessarily grandiose, but if it hooks the kids, that's what's most important, right? That's right. Get them while they're young. So my projects for 4-H included rocketry, gardening, creative writing, camping, and of course, rabbits. Replacement heifers later on, and a few other odds and ends because I was having too much fun. My brother Mongoose went with rabbits, chickens, and sheep, which are, of course, walking comedy factories. Yeah, until you gotta kill them and eat them. That's the sad part. Tell me about the rabbits, George. Oh, you think they produce wool and meat? Okay, well, that's a thing, but it's secondary to the comedy. Listen to a sheep try to bleat with a mouthful of water, and you will know there is a humorous, jesting God. At least in some occasions, I guess. If he's got a sense of humor, it really is a sick one. I gotta say that. That's my sheep with a mouthful of water voice or something. Anyway, Mongoose was still pretty little when I had started 4-H, and he wanted to get some experience before he began his project since he wasn't old enough yet. Seeing as you start when you're 10 and you leave when you're 18 to 19. In fact, it was the promise of all this that made us gleefully leave our home in Los Angeles, which we had only been at for a year and a half. A promise that Wolf Mom, that's our mom, made to us after we began to hysterically cry when we were told that we'd be moving again. Oh, you moved around a lot too, huh? It really does suck. That's the only reason I became the person that I am, though. Which is both a positive and a negative. I make friends sorta easily, but I also don't put too much investment in those friendships because I understand that they can end in an instant and you never see those people again. Anyways, this was a promise that, when made, drew the weary ire of Wolf Dad in the way that only the promise of any animal brought into the home tends to make on a hapless father. Yeah, Dad doesn't want to get the cat, and then he loves the cat more than anybody else, right? That's how this is gonna work every time, every single time. Of course, he would live to be surprised when we took charge and handled the critters ourselves with minimal input from him. I mean, that is pretty surprising. For a 13-year-old, that's a lot. So the second county fair that I'd brought my animals to was going pretty well. The sheep shows were first, and Mongoose and I decided to hang out with Achilles, who was our buddy from the 4-H club. Hey Achilles, I greeted, setting up my grooming table while Mongoose marveled at the 4-legged Adonis. Achilles is the proud owner of a woolly tank, a huge muscular werther named Hercules. Weather refers to a male sheep who lost the juice crew. Yeah, and he's still yoked. What is up with that? Are you injecting that sheep? Are you supplementing him in some way? What the hell's going on here? Can I try taking him for a walk? I want to get practice since I'm gonna raise sheep when I'm old enough to, Mongoose innocently asked. Achilles gives Mongoose Hercules' harness and leash so he can get a feel for it. All right, buddy. Now you want to take it really easy. And whatever you do not let go of that leash, dude. Mongoose nods solemnly, taking his charge seriously. Sure thing. I won't let go. I promise. Yeah, we'll see how that one turned out. He leads the monstrous animal around in a few circles while I busy myself grooming Duchess, my Dutch bunny, who that fair would take best of breed. She's being her usual perfect self and as cool as a cucumber in a fridge, which is quite unusual for a rodent, I do suppose. They're usually pretty high-strung, aren't they? I guess not if the bunny is secure. Like, I know everything's fine. Everybody loves me. You could probably train a rodent to be cool. None of my rats ever learned that, though. Actually, I take that back. They'd have naps in the hammock. I'd put them in my sleeve and they go sleep. But they'd also poop in my sleeve, so, you know, that's a nervous behavior. So, I don't claim to know what inhuman thoughts lie beyond those horizontally pupilled eyes, what dreams of chronic and sustained madness and cruelty, but I can tell you this. Hercules saw the gate at the end of the barn open up, and without any warning whatsoever, that sheep took off like a bolt of woolly lightning. Hold on tight. Mongoose, a boy of his word, did not let go. Oh, crap. Mongoose didn't let go? There he goes! Mongoose proceeds to get dragged over badly worn asphalt, dirt, grass, sheep droppings, tufts of wool that every sheep barn generates like ambiance, and it's only when a huge woman blocks the way that the motion ceases. Yeah, and probably ceases quite abruptly. She had not seen the sheep rush, and her, well, let's just say voluminous figure made for a wall that Hercules was unwilling to pass. For now. "Excuse me!" she belted out. "Your animal almost ran over me!" I don't think you gotta worry about that. You out here looking like the Great Wall of China, lady. He's a little intimidated too. He's afraid you fall down on him, kill him dead. Mind you, she was yelling this at a 9-year-old kid who was face down on the ground, having been ragdolled over a plethora of obstacles, barely holding on to the leash. It was clear that she was a visitor to the fairgrounds and not a 4-H mom, since she made no attempt to restrain Hercules and tend to poor, mangled Mongoose. "Where are your parents? They shouldn't let a small child try handling a clearly uncooperative animal like this," she bellowed, freaking Hercules out even further. Mongoose lay there, still, slowly coming to his senses. The poor kid doesn't deserve this, honestly. All he wanted to do is take the sheep for a walk. Why's it gotta be like this? By his account, all he heard from Karen was a Peanuts gang-style adult speak. "You're clearly not able to handle this sheep. My son and I could have been attacked. You should really be more responsible." "Yeah, allow me to control this wild animal." It's not really a wild animal. I guess it's pretty domesticated, but those juice injections that I'm sure that Hercules is still getting on the sly, they kind of make him act up a little bit. I guess I can't really blame the woman for being shocked and upset, but the fact that she was jawing at Mongoose, who was clearly not in a state to do anything but spatula himself up from the ground, still bamboozles me. She probably would have asked to talk to his manager if she thought there was one. As she lectured Mongoose the road pizza, literally wagging her finger at the kid, Achilles and I were running like the Dickens, trying to catch the wayward Werther and my battered brother. In an already agitated state from Karen's caterwauling, Hercules saw the two rapidly approaching farm boys, who were well and easily large enough to handle him, and chose the path of noisiest resistance, namely, straight through that Karen. Yeah, sheeps and goats, they really ain't scared of nothing, you know? I'm like clearly bigger than a sheep, and still sometimes you get one that just likes to headbutt. I don't know if they're just ballsy or stupid or what. But yes, Hercules leapt up, tackling Karen to the ground, leaving hoof marks all over the too tight yellow dress that she was wearing as he stampeded over her. taking Mongoose with him for another 5 feet before a timely rescue at the hands of a helpful member of another 4-H club snagged the leash and cut Hercules' hooved and woolly apocalypse short, freeing poor Mongoose. Well, that's merciful, I guess. Mongoose could have taken a trip all the way around the fairgrounds. Karen was fit to be tied, not yet noticing that her ruined dress was unfit for service, as the impact had created a tsunami of adipose to pop the garment's shoulder straps. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Maybe she'll take herself home now. Go make yourself a bit more decent, and I don't mean just the dress. You gotta shift your attitude a bit, woman. This fact became apparent when gravity had its say, and her modesty found itself pulled around her cankles. Oh, I salute you, fallen clothing. Your attempts were valiant, if ultimately fruitless. Oh, having to see that as a 9-year-old, as a 13-year-old, no child should have to see that. That's disgusting. Her son stood there in a state of pure and utter shell shock, his expression not unlike good old surprised Pikachu. Oh, it's horrible. Why? Because karma, I suppose. Actually, everyone's expression was kind of surprised Pikachu-ish, if I'm being really fair here. She stood there, frozen, like a very pale, very fat, glistening deer in the headlights before bending over. Ugh. A motion that caused the faces of the crowd behind her to fluctuate between shock, horror, amusement, and even appreciation. Hey, takes all kinds to move the world. I hate to yuck somebody else's yum, but yeah, that's not the flavor for me. That's what I know. And she snatched her clothes back up, staggering and jiggling to the restrooms, bellowing like a bull of the North Woods the entire time about how she would sue, ruin, crush, kill, destroy, blah, 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 blah. To our vast surprise, nothing ever came of it, and she apparently laughed it off a bit later. I mean, what else are you gonna do in a situation like that? At least she was good-natured about it, I guess? Question mark? Take heed, Redditor. Sometimes a Karen is just an ordinary woman having a really crummy day. Yeah, same case for General. I've gotten up here in front of the microphone on days that I shouldn't have, bit somebody's head off for no reason whatsoever. It happens. We're all human. So I do appreciate you, Zucca, showing a bit of understanding to this lady. She's a nice lady. I'm not even gonna point out that she's fat again. And believe you me, becoming roadkill at the hoof of a jacked up sheep will ruin anyone's day. You okay, dude? I asked Mongoose, having fetched a first aid kit. He groaned, the sound of birds chirping unmistakably coming from around his head.
Freaking, you didn't let go, man!
Achilles exclaimed. You told me not to, Mongoose sniffled.
Yeah, that's just it. I let go when something like that happens. You got some guts, hombre.
Achilles incredulously exclaimed. Yeah, he's ready for mutton busting. Put that little boy in the rodeo, all right? He's gonna hog tie some sheeps. It's gonna be beautiful. Though it looked painful to change his facial expression, Mongoose did grin brightly at that statement. Now, you might be wondering what impression this left on Mongoose. That's what you call a trial by fire. Truth is, he wasn't dissuaded at all, going on to run an award-winning sheep project that netted him 3 grand champions in the course of his career and top marks in showmanship. He would cheerfully state that if he could survive with his wits and courage intact, he could take anything. Finn, Part 1. Oh, beautiful. Loving that. He's a good boy, isn't he? 3 grand champions over a course of 8 or 9 years. That's a pretty good ratio, isn't it? I'm sure there's some people that go through the whole thing and never get a grand champion. But Zucca and Mongoose, they love those animals, you know?
Not in a weird way.
You could tell just from the Bunnybeard story, they really put their all into this 4-H stuff, and that feels nice. Well, everyone, I'm glad that you joined me on this adventure, and I'll keep more stories coming out. If you thought this was interesting, this was just a 2-minute experience. Not the way I tell it. Wait till I tell you how I got shot in the torso, or how I broke my foot and still showed the cattle, or how I had a brush with PETA, who had come to the fair to abduct animals small enough to smuggle out. Oh, those nut jobs. How I met my first real girlfriend at the National Rabbit Show in Oregon, the dog attack that destroyed our rabbitry, or the clashes with a toxic rival family. Yeah, that last one's probably the juiciest, isn't it? And those are just a few examples, friends. Those of you listening to ReddX right now, do the man a solid, hit that thumb up, you know, drop a few words in the commentary box down there. This gentleman has spent a good chunk of time entertaining you, and while I can't tell you how to live your life, I can at least plead, implore, beg, advise, suggest that you help our boy out in the ongoing fight against Al Gore's rhythms. Yeah, they crack it down on me a little bit. We're hurting a little bit this month, but it's all gonna turn out fine. It's still early yet. Take care, friends. Remember that you're worth it. Zucca out. Well, this is definitely a lighter, fluffier series on the channel, but honestly, that's what we need sometimes. Just a little bit of good old-fashioned derpery. You know, we've got Chris Trucker rolling. That wagey thing from yesterday really just crushed my entire soul, so it was kind of nice to take a little break with this. Thank you very much for writing it, Zucca. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought down there. You know, like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. Maybe share the video around. That's super important with getting the word out. I appreciate that as well. We got links in the description, plugs, playlist, podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Teespring, if you're trying to rock that merch, hey! We did live stream this whole thing on Twitch, but I've also got a Twitter and a Discord and a Facebook. If you want to go through, check me out on any of those. Sometimes I reply. I would also like to thank my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous Patreon patrons and YouTube channel members, as I do every episode, so thank you too! Starting with our channel members, Train Boy, That One Gay Cop, Valley-Eyed Crane, Shiza, A Tiny Void, Angel Dark, Bedazzled Misery, Skylar Rain, The Fez Wearer, Rosie Rainbow, Slow Spooner Jerry, Sean Cantwell, Heaven Set 777, Robert Thibodeau, Jackie McQuitty, Grim Strive, AJ Collins, Tooth Plushy, Corey Arts, Kelly Clark, Florentic Waver, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Robert Waits, Brandon Ashcraft, Phantom Danica, Organic Steve, Skylar May Morningstar, The Gypsy Barber, Fire Drake, Samantha, Death Flagship, Buy Two, Get One Hand. Heading over to Patreon, we've got Harley Owen, Robert Waits, Camille Sarah, Chance the Blue Kraken, Vixie, Ellipses, Captain Cloud, Jerry Hong Kong, Deku, Esteban, Organic Steve, Beat Double, the Back Boss from Downtown, One Jerry, Big for Forgiveness, PCB, Santa Jerry, Silent Revolver, A Very Tired Jerry, I Feel That, Justy Dargonian Jerry, Aaron Jerry, and Frankenberry, Ain't That a Hot Bitch though? Assassin Punk Jerry, Bang Bang, Baby Jerry, Benji and the Jets, Billy D, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Bronze Kraken, Commander J Tank, Conrad Mooney, Destiny Piper, Dr. Larks, Aaron Era, Erratic Mechanic, East Mars, Fluxer, I don't have friends, I got tendies. Frozen Over Studios, Fire Drake, Gizmo Jack, Hadrian BR, Irish Pirate, Lost the Blue Marble of Mutiny. It's time to get it back. Ayodalo, J.M. Kuhn, Jerry Smith, Jerry Kitsune, the original Jerry, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry the Outlaw, Mother Trucker, Hong Kong, Jerry, I'm begging you, please don't take my beard. Jerry Jukebox Jerry, Cage Alex 9, Kira, Crewhee, Cuddly Kraken, Lady Italian Greyhound Dino, Lady in Awakening, Lauren Crow, Legitimate Girth, Lord Jerryo, Leader of the Thunder Jerrys, Luke of X, Flows of Race Car Driver, he was a good friend of mine. Like and subscribe, Milady Nix, Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Factor, not another Jerry, but he is though. Paragon Soul, Phantom of the Pines, Jerrykins and Jerry Beth, Queens, Quaaludes and Quagmires, Redwin, Rose Jerry Miller, Sarita the Lolita, Scarlet's Coven, Sergeant Gang Copburger of the Law, Silo Whip, Stephanie Gunner, Signed After Boomstick, Brilliant Tomago, the Gypsy Barber, the Littlest Who, the Witcher Fusky, this isn't even my final beard, Tick Jerry, trying to find another mom to get back to the real world, Vanguard Angel BC3, Viking Jerry, Wiki Tech, Stephanie Gargoyle, or Clay, Arnold Voice,
Even dweebs, we can see the train it.
maybe, Normal Jerry, alright Red, for you I bring Doritos, but I count the expertise of their drag beards, I know what to do, Admiral T-Tank, Emerald, or another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry Zillabad, Penny Lake, Bartender Keely, Big Dad Wolf, Procus Pine Horseradish, the original Different Jerry, Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Carcass, Chicago Panda, Corey does commissions, wow! Oh, now, yeah, I got that right. That's why I leave it in. Cryptides, the Far Jerry, the Defter 2, the Dilf Jerry, Dwarfy Dude, Five Nights at Jerry's, Get to the Doodles, also commissions open, Jerry Boo's daughter, Ghost of Alpha, Greymon 365, Half Slavic Jerry in a tracksuit, Heath Knot, Hydra Jerry Solman, Jace Christensen, Janitor Jerry's back from the abyss to clean up after the teenage beards. Good luck, Jeffrey, Gerald of Arabia, Jerry but with 2 S's and E, Jerry Springer, the results are in. You are not the neckbeard. Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry his mom, has got it going on. Jerry Older Rivera, Jerry Roxers, Jerry Roleplaying Game, Kid Marvelous, Lucian Lovecraft, Machia CD, maybe next time, Miss Duchess, Mr. Gasmask, Nog Viper, Not Invisible, Angel, Raptor, Seldom Dark, Snom Jerry, there's Snary if you didn't know, Spoonie the Rope, Spoopy Scary, Jerry Ton. Hey, we're in October for reals now. Susan Beard, if anyone has one more fun, I'm taking all the attendees. Yeah, you can say heck once as a treat. Thank you so much. Techno Dubs, the Copy Jerry Two Knives, Third Stuff, this is purely a mercantile transaction. I mean, it is, though. To Infinite Jerry and beyond. Tokyo Bird, Unkale, Vaughn, Venom Jerry. Throws 2 liter Mountain Dew. Grow my neckbeard, grow. It's Jerry time. Hold ReddX Morpher. Hygiene. It's Jerry time. Hold ReddX Morpher. Humility. And thank you to my $1 patrons as well. A bless up to all the Jerrys and not Jerrys alike. My goodness, you're doing the most to keep me afloat out here. Thank you very much. If you can afford to support, that's huge. If you can't, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos, or raising an extremely muscular sheep without his nuts. That's a Werther's original, I guess. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, friends, bye-bye.